The most powerful thing that you can do for your health is to quit sugar. Sugar is more dangerous for us than fat, and it is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. If you do not address the sugar in your diet, you are leaving yourself wide open to multiple diseases, cancer, depression, and of course, the inability to reach your weight loss goals. My name is Terrell, and I'm one of the coaches here at Beyond 40. And for the past nearly 20 years, I have helped hundreds of people lose thousands of pounds, get healthy, and transform their lives. I absolutely love it. And one thing that I do with all of my new clients is I dig into their typical eating patterns. They're normally super surprised to find out where all the sugar is hiding. They didn't even realize it, especially the ones that think they come to me and they think they're already pretty much a healthy eater. And I think we all though would agree that everyone needs to eat way less sugar, but you will be absolutely blown away at what happens to you in 14 days without it. Plus, at the end, or closer to the end, I'm gonna give you 5 signs that your blood sugar is already too high. I super encourage you to take a sugar break for 14 days and let me know in the comments what your start date is, because I would love to help keep you accountable. There's so many things that are gonna be going on inside of you and I would love to help. So the very first thing that you may experience is cravings. And this is because your body is very used to having available energy in the form of blood sugar because we feed it all the time. Even just snacking in between meals helps feed this blood sugar for energy. And now when you stop giving it to it, you stop snacking or you stop eating high sugary, high fat, fast foods, it doesn't know where to get the energy because it is so used to only having available energy that it doesn't have to dig in to your stored stuff or your fat. So it takes about 3 days for your body to repair those metabolic processes that will allow it to use your stored energy for fuel or your fat. And during this time, while your body is converting over, you will likely feel symptoms of sugar withdrawal because sugar addiction is 100% a thing. The sugar, when you eat it, it helps your body react to a reward pathway that produces dopamine. So now the symptoms come because now you don't have as much dopamine as you used to, and you're not eating the sugar, so you don't have the energy that you're used to. So your body does produce some symptoms. So you may feel cravings, obviously, which is one, but you also may get some headaches, muscle aches, nausea, irritability, all these things because the dopamine is a reward and you don't have that. The sugar is energy and you don't have that. So until you kind of take those 3 or 4 days to recover and get those metabolic processes turned on to be able to use that stored energy, you may feel some of these symptoms. But Dr. Wayne Dyer said, and I love him, he is one of my favorites. He said, an addiction is when you can't get enough of something you don't want. This totally fits with sugar and comfort foods. Now, dopamine is 100% necessary for life and actually helps us to seek out the most healthy and nutritious foods because they have small amounts of sugar in them, which causes a bit of a dopamine reaction, making us enjoy those foods the most. Foods like fruits and vegetables, but it is balanced. It's the right amount of dopamine. We have that amount of dopamine receptors, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. When we get our sugar from unnatural foods, foods with lots of sugar, fat, and salt, which, by the way, a lot of companies out there, fast food companies and such, have done billions of dollars in research to find the perfect proportions of sugar, fat, and salt to go in all of their food so that you do become addicted to it. So know that this is such a real thing, and the companies are profiting on the fact that you become addicted to their food. When we get our food in this highly unbalanced way, we have this enormous dopamine response and our brain can't regulate it. We don't have enough dopamine receptors, so it actually has to alter neurons that create a different communication pattern, and that is where the dependence on it comes from, because now your whole brain is working differently. So we need to correct these neural patterns and get them back to way they were. But luckily, fortunately, it's easy. It's 100% doable. It's called neuroplasticity. Your brain is so smart, and as long as it goes one direction, it will still go in the other. So the fastest And the best way for the recovery from a sugar addiction is through movement. Like, your brain loves the movement. Not only will the movement help reprogram those neural pathways, it also helps with the cravings. So you don't have to do anything crazy or major. You don't have to jump into like a kickboxing class or anything like that. Just go for a walk. Do anything that you like. Just begin to put movement in your day. And if you're going for a walk, I love to suggest having one time where you go for your walk, and that is your exercise. But during the day, make sure that you're getting up and moving around and that we're not sitting all day. A lot of watches will tell you, hey, it's time to get up and move. It's time to get up and move. Mine does it to me all day long. Anyway, so it doesn't have to be crazy. Just get up and move. So you've done the hard part of getting past the cravings, you're beginning to mend that brain, and now just keep going. You've done all the hard work. So your blood sugar is stable, and so your body can now use the energy from your fat for your fuel, and you're way less hungry because your insulin levels have finally come down. And insulin can stay elevated for days, like actually a really long time insulin levels can stay elevated. When your insulin levels are elevated, you cannot produce your fat burning hormones because they're antagonistic. If you're becoming insulin resistant even a little bit, that's really when those insulin levels stay high. So you can't even produce fat burning hormones because the insulin is high. And now you've come into your like a week or so, those insulin levels drop, and now you can actually burn fat because you have lost a few pounds just in the beginning, but it is not fat. It's normally just from the inflammation and everything else. So now you can truly burn off the fat. And one of the favorite things about this is when you're starting to come into a week or so into this, your taste buds begin to change. We don't even realize that they had changed in the first place because food seems to always taste the same for us. They have changed because that high doses of the sugar and the fat and the salt and everything put too much on your taste buds, and so it's your taste buds receptors that actually take the hit. The message from your taste buds to your brain gets dulled down, and we don't even really realize it. So one thing that I absolutely love to hear are the stories from my clients after they have just been on point, eating healthy, doing all the right things for a few weeks, and then they say, you know what, I am going to have blank, whatever it is like one of their favorite foods that they're kind of missing because they've been doing so good. And we do miss it, of course we do. We remember that dopamine rush from it, right? It doesn't taste good. They're like, I can't believe it. It tasted terrible. Or I got such a stomach ache. I was nauseous the rest of the night. I couldn't even eat anything else. I will literally never do that again. I used to have the same thing with Diet Mountain Dew. Like a long time ago, like probably 10 years ago, I gave up Diet Mountain Dew, but I used to love Diet Mountain Dew. And then after not having it for a while, probably a year or so, I went and had one because I just wanted one. I hadn't had it in forever. And you know what? Oh my gosh, it tasted terrible. I can't even imagine why I ever thought it tasted good. So that is one thing to absolutely look forward to, is that your taste buds are going to change, and food and everything else is going to taste so much better. That's how you know you made it. You are healthier on the inside. Your body, food tastes better. You have more energy. You feel great, and it's falling over into every area of your life. Plus, you are likely down several pounds, which nobody hates. But anyway, so here's what you should have by the end of the 14 days. You should have lost your appetite for sugar. You should be way less hungry. And one of the best things is you're less hungry after you've already eaten. When your insulin levels are chronically high, you're going to eat a meal, and then an hour and a half later, you're going to be hungry again. And that should not be. It should not be happening. You're also lighter, of course, from losing all the inflammation from the sugar and the fat. And your mood has improved. You have way less stress, way more focus, and lots of energy. Your skin looks better. Here's what happens. When you eat too much sugar, you have constant high levels of insulin and high blood sugar. In women, it raises your androgen levels, which causes all kinds of skin conditions and other things. And in men, though, it lowers your testosterone, which causes all kinds of problems. And now you're going to be less stiff, which I love, because stiffness we tend to think of as going right along with aging. I'm 52 years old. I am not stiff, and I don't want to be. I don't want every day to wake up and be like, oh, I can't move. The stiffness comes from all the inflammation from that sugar. So you cut out that sugar, that inflammation is going to go away, and that stiffness is going to be gone. Plus, you are finally burning through that fat that is in your liver, which will save you from all kinds of diseases and cancers. When we can get rid of that liver fat, our whole body works better. All right, now, as promised, here are the 5 signs that your blood sugar is too high. And the first one is excessive urination, or like urinating at night in the middle of the night. Obviously, if you drink, a couple glasses of water before you go to bed, you're probably gonna have to pee in the middle of the night. I drink like a gallon of water a day, and so some nights I do have to get up and go pee, even though I try to like really slow the water down after like 5 or 6 p.m. so that it doesn't interrupt my sleep. But also, number 2 is blurred vision. Sugar kind of causes a cloud in our eyes. So if your vision, especially after a sugary meal, is kind of getting worse and worse, is blurred. I mean, I'm 52, aging happens too, right? Anyway, but so blurred vision is definitely a symptom though, because sugar is damaging to your eyes. Now, the next one is thirst or a dry mouth. And here's something that is really interesting, because when you have high levels of blood sugar and it's contained that way over time, your insulin is not able to take care of this. Your pancreas is working overtime. You have all the insulin you can produce, but your body still needs to get rid of the sugar. So your kidneys kick in to try to do that for you by having you pee it out. So it takes all of your, water from everywhere else in your body trying to get the sugar out of you. And the last one, no one wants to hear, but it is true, is impotence. Men, high levels of sugar is going to lower your testosterone. Nobody wants that, nobody. So anyway, but there you have it. So give it a shot, please. 14 days. Let me know how it goes. Drop your start date in the comments. And right over here, we have got a video explaining insulin resistance symptoms, because that's a very big deal and goes right along with all this. So if you want more information on that, right there. And of course, in the comments, I have the hormone reset diet. And you know what that's going to do? It's going to help you get off a little bit of extra fat if you'd like to. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.